welcome to the Fandom Show,
Hi.
the podcast where we learn about fantastic fandoms. Hi, by talking to our favorites about their favorites. I'm Kaya Green. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Stephanie Malik.
Done this so many times. At no point did you feel compelled to say hello midway.
Look, man, we're near an episode 100 soon. I just want to shake it
I
up.
love it. You got to mix it up. You
mix
can't
it
let
up.
things get boring.
I don't want it to be still for our listeners. I don't want them to be able to quote it verbatim, keep them on their toes.
Yeah, little surprises. You never know when we're going to interrupt each other. Oh.
Hi.
Anyway, so yeah, that's us. And today we're talking about the only tabletop game that requires both a measuring tape and paint. It's a real model gaming experience.
I love a pun.
We're talking about Warhammer. Yeah! Warhammer. Okay, Steph, tell me what you know about Warhammer.
Nothing. What do you know about Warhammer?
You have to know some things.
Okay. Let's be real.
Yeah, come on. Let's be real. The people deserve truth.
It is a tabletop role-playing game.
That is probably correct.
It has a lot of different iterations of it.
Okay.
There are figurines.
Yep.
People paint them.
Let's go.
People love to customize paint them.
Oh my God.
Lord of the Rings has a version, or they have a Lord of the Rings version.
Yeah, that's the order.
I just learned 5 minutes ago Henry Cavill loves Warhammer.
Yeah.
That's what I know about Warhammer.
You knew so much about Warhammer.
Thank you.
You lied before.
It's all because I had to look it up for this. Not entirely. I knew there were models.
Yeah, you knew the models.
I knew there were models.
Yeah.
Okay, busted. What do you know about it?
About the same amount. I know there are models and that there is a big, huge community around painting them. I have a friend who goes to competitions. He went to a competition
Wait,
in Las
what?
Vegas.
Who? What?
So upset.
You hiding a friend?
No, Patrick, our friend Patrick from my old job. Yes.
Yes, okay.
He goes to competitions, so I know there are competitions for it.
Yeah.
And most notably, and I have so many questions, I'm very excited to ask about this. I know that there's a measuring tape involves heavily, and that you play on a real table with a bunch of terrain, and I have so many questions about how that gets set up. I'm very excited.
Amazing. Oh, you know who's going to be able to answer those questions for you?
Who? Tell me.
It's our guest, Kaya.
What?
They're sitting beside you.
Oh man, we've done so many episodes and I'll never get this
You've
pattern.
never figured it out. Sean Meldrum is an actor, writer, and sound designer working in Toronto's film, television, and live theater scenes. You might know him as the Denobulan cadet on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, a doomed influencer in Tales from the Void, or maybe you've even seen him as a singing, dancing, twisted tea guy a couple years back. I did see that. You're right. Sean, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to the show.
So much for coming. This is very exciting. This is like such a classic nerd fandom.
It's so nerdy.
Yeah.
It's all the nerdy things all rolled into one.
100%.
I love
Okay,
it.
tell us your origin story. How did you get into Warhammer?
Right before we get into it, I just want to say I love the show. And I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
happy that you two are flying the nerd flag so high. Okay, sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, let's actually start with this. What is, if you had to explain it to somebody who has no idea, what is Warhammer?
I would ask the person if they've heard of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
Yeah.
And most people have.
Yeah.
So I would say, imagine Dungeons and Dragons, but it's an army instead of a dude, like a
character.
A character.
Yeah.
And it's kind of gameplay-wise, it's chess meets poker meets
Ooh.
Catan meets Risk meets a bunch of different stuff. But the game is only one version of it. Warhammer is what you make it. That's what. There's a lot of different nerdy things to do.
There's like a lot of subcategories and avenues you can enjoy the world.
It depends. Yeah, it just depends on you and what you're looking to get out of it.
Very cool.
Yeah,
How'd you get into it? What's the origin?
my cousin.
Oh, okay.
And my parents were not thrilled.
No. Is it an expensive hobby, first of all? Yeah, okay.
Your silence says
The
it
silence
all.
is golden.
An expensive silence.
Like the coins.
There's ways. We'll get into it. There's ways to mitigate costs.
I love this. We're going to save you money here today, friends.
Yes,
We're doing good work.
Warhammer on the cheap. Yeah, it's a luxury hobby, of course.
Yeah.
Like it's I like to say, though, if you're into gaming, I don't know if there's a hobby that isn't expensive in one way or the other.
Yeah,
true.
And again, it's what you make it. If you want to spend the money on brand new models and put them all together yourself, you can. Or you can hit up the used market and do that kind of stuff as
Yeah,
well.
nice. I feel like Warhammer is our generation's putting together train sets.
It's...
You know, like, and I say that with admiration because my grandfather had a sick train set in his basement.
Yeah, it's like one day there will be kids who are like, yeah, my grandpa's got like a sick orc
Yeah, totally.
army.
Oh man, look at my grandpa's work I just found.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, so vintage. Shit.
He's such a loser.
So you were saying your cousin got you into this.
Yeah.
How did your cousin draw you into it?
Yeah, my cousin's a few years older, and he was into the Imperial Guard, which they're an army in Warhammer 40,000.
Okay.
We're gonna spiderweb here. Like
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
I bring up is gonna
You
spiderweb.
said 40,000.
into, like,
I've only heard 40K.
I thought there were 39,000 Warhammers.
It's that last one that's important.
That'll get you. But so he played Imperial Guard, and then he got me 2 little skeleton warriors, and I was like, "What is this?" And then it was an "I can show you the world" moment.
Oh, excellent.
And yeah, it's it's very funny now because he's no longer into it, and then anytime he comes over, he's just like.
It's like,
at
I'm not
my
into it
display
anyway.
case, like,
What's that over there?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm always trying to, come on, I get back into it. It's never been
Yeah.
a better time.
Oh. Okay, this is from one of our patrons, James.
Fun.
What's the best way for a newbie to try and get into Warhammer? Because it is huge. It's vast. It's even just looking at their website, and they have a section on the website going like how to start. How would you help someone even like tap into the world of Warhammer?
I'm realizing now that I kind of gave a half answer when what Warhammer is, and I'll slide into answering that question. So like Warhammer is first and foremost an intellectual property.
Yeah.
It has a huge amount of variety. There's 2 main ones: the sci-fi one and the fantasy one. And there are models that you can play with, that you can paint if you want. There's books that you can read. There's video games you can play. And speaking of Daddy Cavill,
Oh, Daddy Cavill.
there is a series in development, allegedly.
Ah,
Sick.
is that why now it's never been a better time?
The stock is...
It's going up. I mean, D&D has had its moment now. What's next?
Yeah, D&D, you're over. Warhammer.
over.
Friendship ended with D&D. Now Warhammer's my best
We
friend.
liked your movie. It was great. Chris Pine, you were wonderful.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
I feel like Dropout's going to start doing Warhammer
Oh,
episodes
shit.
any minute now.
The question was, how do you get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think by that same token, just start to check out the free stuff. There's a lot of resources since it's kind of had a comeback since the pandemic.
Okay.
And that was partially it for me, digging through childhood models and being like, I wonder how much I could make on these. Look them up. Like, how much is this worth? Oh wait, this is still a thing. Oh wait. Okay.
Well, maybe you can't have it.
You
Just
thought you
fine.
could get out. You
is
can't
kind-
get out.
this
You
is
can
kinda-
never get
yeah, every time I think I'm out.
I pull you back in.
and they get a good model.
Yeah, correct. And so there's a lot of fun to be had, and it's just about you and figuring out your journey through Warhammer.
So do you play it? Because I know one of the hurdles to starting D&D is you have to find a dungeon master, you have to find a party to play with, and someone to kind of like help you into role. Is that with Warhammer? Do you need other people?
If you want to play the game, you will have to source out a play group.
Okay.
There's a lot of resources online, a lot of Discords, a lot of Facebook groups, et cetera, et cetera. But the nice part about it is if you want to interact with Warhammer just as the books, you can just read the books or just play the video game, Space Marine 2 or what have you. There's so many video games. Or you can buy models and build them and paint them and never show them to anyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an introvert-extrovert switch.
Yeah. Do you find that there is an area of the fandom that is sort of the most popular or well trafficked?
That's a really good question. I think it really depends on you and how you interact with Warhammer. Like for
Right.
me, as someone who plays the game, that's where most of my time goes into. And it kind of enriches the other aspects of the hobby because the more you learn and the more you paint, the harder you can leverage it against your opponents.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
Yeah, and it's just such a deep, rich universe that there's always more to explore.
Yeah. Do you play with like friends? Do you like go to a place and play with strangers? Like I'm so curious about how it happens.
Either one, they're both valid. When I first got into the game during the pandemic, I was out with my parents on the East Coast, and so I did have to I walked into the FLGS, as the nerds, the friendly local game store. I just walked in and I was like, "Oh, I got some models. Oh, if anyone wants to play a game.
Anybody want to be my friend?"
Yeah, no, legit.
Totally.
You come in like, and so that's how I started out, was just making friends, and it's actually a great way to socialize and make friends.
Yeah.
And then when I got back home, I basically found a group of people, and it's very funny. Like, one Warhammer opponent is now like one of my closest friends. Shout out Pontus. How you doing, bud?
Pontus, good job.
But it's like, so, and then you the further you develop that circle, you tend to develop like a gaming group. And people will usually end up with like standing games on Friday. It's like Friday Night Magic, right?
Yeah.
And like drop in, drop out, or like anyone looking for a game who wants to catch these tiny plastic hands.
Okay. Now that we've mentioned Magic, I have to ask about like the armies, because I know that like you purchase armies, right?
You do.
That is, and that's how. So that's kind of like your deck in theory.
That's a good comparison. Yeah.
That's the only way. That's how I came to understand it. So okay. So if everybody has their own,
if I may.
Oh no, that's what we're here for.
It's a different level of commitment.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a difference between buying a deck.
Yep.
And putting it together. And I'm not deep into MTG, but it's a different commitment level. Like, people can play the competitive scene in MTG, and they're, it's just about how much you can spend.
Yeah.
But in Warhammer, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into your deck for intents and purposes.
So if you buy an army, like, are all the pieces included? Do you buy little things that go into it? And does painting affect the game?
That's a really good. Okay, so to answer the latter part, no. It's full of a lot of neurotic people who think that perhaps, and this is, again, Warhammer's what you make it, but yeah, some people want to paint it like the box, and then some people want to express themselves.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And come up. The nice part about there being lore is that you can come up with a whole backstory for your army, like why your Space Marines are painted this way, and whose subchapter you are, and all this stuff. It goes deep.
That's cool.
But what was the first part of the question? Sorry.
The elements of your army. So if I were to go and try and start this, I'd go buy an army.
Yep.
And do they all have different like powers or strengths? Like, I know that in Magic the Gathering, if you're playing a red deck, you're probably playing like a lot of little guys really fast.
Yeah, with haste or whatever.
Or if you're playing a green deck, I don't even know Magic. I just know it better than this.
Yeah.
Fair.
Or if you're playing a green thing, you have a lot of like big monsters. Is it similar in Warhammer?
It is. It's play styles. The games are so overwhelming for a new. That's one thing I'll just say is, like, for anyone who's getting into it, just be prepared to be overwhelmed at first. That's part of the experience.
That's D&D too, though. Like that's a lot of sort of entering a property.
A lot of numbers.
For sure.
Yeah.
Both games, so there's two main games that Games Workshop offers, Warhammer 40K and Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which took over for Warhammer Fantasy.
Okay.
Each of those games has, like, I think 28 different armies.
Whoa.
With, like, at least probably 30 units per game. And so it's just, there's a lot of depth.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and some people are into the competitive scene, and some people are into the express myself man scene.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to, but then they're always changing. They're always updating the game, and what used to be competitive yesterday is no longer competitive today.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's your army?
Yeah.
What's like your favorite army? Because you probably have a bunch. I assume you're playing this game regularly.
I'm a nerd.
Okay, yeah.
That's what you're here for, baby.
What I'm doing here. What are we doing? So my first love, and this, I'll throw this back to my cousin. When he got me these little skeletons, I was like, this is cool, but what, that meme that's like, this is brilliant, but I like this.
Yeah.
That was me when I saw the little rat men. My first love and most enduring love in this intellectual property is the Skaven.
Skaven.
Yeah. If anyone plays, there's a pretty semi-popular video game called Vermintide 2, where the Skaven are the main antagonists.
I've heard of that. I didn't even know that was a Warhammer
Oh,
thing.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And so I think that the Skaven are the most... Listen, it's all Tolkien-esque, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's all Dune-esque for the sci-fi stuff. And it's all pretty, I won't say derivative, because, you know, culture eats itself, yada, yada, yada. But the Skaven are pretty unique. They are little rat men who are multitudinous, but they all think that they're the chosen one.
What?
Yeah. So the lowliest Skaven grunt is like, I'm just biding my time until I become the chosen one, as he's marching into battle, and then they just do friendly fire on each other, and it's like, march those minions, and then open fire.
You go first.
Yeah. After you.
Tiny little capitalists.
And there's correct. They're always breeding. And, and,
I'll make it.
Yeah, I'm the one who's gonna make it.
I'm the chosen one.
And they have different like echelons, different clans. There's 6 different main clans that make up the Skaven, and they all have it's like 6 armies in one, and they're just. There's nothing else like them in other fantasy universes, in my opinion. Like, they're wholly unique.
They're actually the only ones I've heard of. Like
Really?
the only army that I heard of. I think we wrote a trivia question about it back
Did
in the
we?
day. Yeah.
Dang.
That's Skaven.
Yeah. I feel, my boys.
Yeah, repping.
Do they?
We them boys, we them rats.
Do they have names, or do you name them, or do they come with names?
This is awesome. So yes, there are established characters within the universe that have had novels written about them.
Okay.
But then
Cool.
you best believe I'd be making my own characters. That's one thing I'll say. So in the intro you mentioned it's a role-playing game.
Yeah.
It can be if you want it to be.
Like a strategy game mainly?
It's again, it's like if you want to play the competitive scene, you're probably not making up your own lore.
Okay.
But like for me, like that's the most fun.
Yeah.
Is creating my own little character.
Yeah, but I need the investment. I need to know who that little guy is as he's going forward into the world.
You
Yeah,
play every tabletop game like a role-playing game.
That's true.
We
That's
play
true.
a game called Azul, which is really just a tile and pattern game. It has absolutely nothing to do with role-playing. And every time we play, you get really into making mosaics for the King of Portugal.
It's important to tell a story.
Is it Warhammer adjacent?
No,
It's literally
it's
just
literally-
like little tiles you put in a pattern to make lines.
It's a completely-
There's no story at all.
This other
There's no
board game.
characters.
Wait, tiles.
There's no characters. It's just tiles.
And you are just like, no, I am going
No,
to
for
play
the
this like
king.
it's a role-playing game.
yeah.
I feel like I've been out nerded.
It's not a,
No way.
It's not a nerddom. It's a problem.
Anyway, you can play anything like a role-playing game is I guess what I'm trying to say here. So you have names for your whole army?
Yeah, Pastor Bogstock is my self-insert.
What a good
Skaven
name.
Lord, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, and he's got backstory that's cross-referenced with the lore, and because so they destroyed Warhammer Fantasy to make Age of Sigmar because Warhammer Fantasy just wasn't profitable.
Yeah, right.
But I like this idea that my dude was because I played Warhammer Fantasy back in the day.
Yeah.
I like this idea that he's like a time traveler. So
Oh,
he
okay.
was like grabbed by his god that he worships, and he was whisked into the
Yeah.
future.
Because he's the chosen one.
And now he's the time traveling Pope of the acid pits. That's Pastor Bogstock for you. You know him.
Rise and grind, man.
He's got the Sigma grind set, honestly.
Yeah, like grind set mindset.
Yeah.
That is excellent. Okay, so I must know when it comes to your armies, I assume there's units that are all like equal. Do you have favorites because they're painted differently, or some just turned out better than others? Is that like is there a lot of superstition about that kind of thing?
Oh, that's really good. I mean, so there's always a war not a war, but there's like always a debate going on about painted armies versus non-painted armies.
Oh.
It's encouraged that you paint your armies.
Yeah.
Some people can get a little shy about some people are not trying to express themselves artistically.
They just
right?
want to play the game.
But if you go to a tournament, you get points for having your army painted. At least 3 colors on that model, please.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So they do try to encourage it. Yeah, I think mostly people get attached for the abilities that the units have.
Yeah.
And you get really attached to like what your unit's role is in the army. Like there's big monsters, or there's little chaff that you just throw in the way as like a screen.
Right.
And then I think people get attached to the roles that those play. And between editions, sometimes the unit's role will change. And yeah, like I can like there's certain units that like go away. They just stop making the models for me.
Heartbreaking.
And I'm like, my plague sensor bearers? Really? You're gonna take them away from me?
Do this.
I'm gonna burn down Games Workshop headquarters.
And I bet people have tried.
Disclaimer: I will not burn down Games Workshop headquarters.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Please.
Please don't come for us. Please, 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 please.
Okay, so what are some of the other armies? Sorry, I feel like I'm asking a lot of the questions. I'm just so excited.
It's good. It's good. So, is it possible, because obviously there's a financial machine behind this that's like buy more armies. Are there some armies that you can buy that are like super powered, that someone shows up with their army and you're like, oh, that guy spent $2,000. Now I'm gonna lose.
That's a good question.
Allegedly. I mean, it's like you can do that, but it's a fool's errand. The meta is always changing.
Okay.
What was a strong army one day will get hit with we call it the nerf hammer.
We love a nerf.
We should talk about the meme of like blank hammer afterwards.
Okay, I don't know about this.
Like beer hammer's a thing kind of thing.
Oh, fun. We love a portmanteau. Would that be a portmanteau? Or is that just
Just a descriptor. It's just an adjective.
just a word? Anyway, it's just a compound word. Is what that is.
But like, yeah, so I again, if you're super into the competitive scene and that's what sparks joy for you, that's your cross to bear. You are the one who's going to have to procure that army of the most, competitive units. A lot of people tend to like pool their units together, like their armies. And if you're part of a competitive play group, it's like, hey, I'm actually going to make a run with Skaven or, Drukari or like whatever it is, depending on the game.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay.
Are there some armies that are sort of generally more popular than others?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so if we're talking 40K, everyone has a Space Marines army.
Okay, yeah.
Every person, we can swear, right?
Oh, big time.
Every swinging dick has
Whoa, now.
Hey! But like, metaphorically speaking, every swinging dick has a Space Marine army.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because they get pushed in the starter packs every time.
Right, yeah.
And it's just, they're cool.
I mean, it's the title of the video game.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's where
people like Space Marines.
Yeah, correct. It's where a lot of the like brand recognition lies.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like having a Tolkien thing and just not acknowledge, like, everyone's got some hobbits.
Correct.
We love hobbits.
Yeah.
They're very popular.
We all think we're hobbits. Like, 'cause it's,
No, we know we're hobbits. Some of us know.
Some of us know. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so there's a lot of variety to the armies. I won't make you list them all because I feel like you said there's 28 in each thing.
It goes deep. Yeah.
Do you have a secondary army that you like playing?
So I play 2 armies per game in Age of Sigmar, which is so there's balances. I think that Warhammer 40,000 is the better intellectual property in terms of its story and lore. Ooh. It's like Paradise Lost meets Dune.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
But then the gameplay wise, I think Age of Sigmar, the fantasy one, is way more fun. So in Age of Sigmar, I play Skaven and ogres because ogres are like the complete. I call them my side chick army because it's like Skaven are really like finicky, and if you get punished for your mistakes really hard.
Okay.
Then ogres are just like, and you just
Yeah.
run at them. So that's a lot of fun. And then for 40K, I play Tyranids, which are like they're almost like the Flood from Halo, almost like they're bugs, like Starship Troopers. If you
Right.
know,
Okay.
Starship Troopers, they're kind of like that. And then I have a Space Marine army. And I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Look, things are the basic version because of a reason, because everyone likes them.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, why fight gravity?
And then in Lord of the Rings, I play Isengard, the Uruk-hai.
Oh,
Okay, so you like a bad boy.
I'm a bad boy.
You're a bit of a bad boy.
Yeah, I'm pretty badass.
Okay.
Anyway, here are my mom.
Okay, here's a question. It might sound silly.
Mm-hmm.
Who decides the terrain? What makes the table?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about this. Who decides where the rocks go?
Do you rock, paper, scissors for it? Because you can set up a tactical advantage for yourself if you pick
You
it.
sure can. Absolutely. You're picking up on this pretty quick.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Games Workshop has machinations for us. They have a way for it to be balanced where you're supposed to take turns laying terrain, and you're supposed to maybe each bring a bit of terrain, and then you do it collaboratively.
Okay.
In real life, whoever's not getting a beer ends up being the one. Or whoever's like, wait, I didn't look at my list before I started today. Can you just set up the terrain while I, like, it's like cramming for a test.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
so
Oh,
many
shit.
rules.
Really?
It's very complex.
Like you have to come correct.
You
to
do
the
have to come.
table.
You got to show up knowing your stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
So stressful.
I call it a game of who forgets less.
I've already lost this game.
It's
I could never play Warhammer.
it's really
Very funny.
annoying, and so yeah, you just like sometimes you go into a person you're playing into someone who really knows their stuff, and you have no chance just because they know exactly what your army does, and you're trying to remember what your army does.
Right.
But then other times you match into a noob, and you just I'm sorry, I must destroy you.
It's simply a part of it.
Wait. This is just a side question. Do you do voices when you play the game? Like, is there, because, okay, obviously I love to role play things.
Of course.
So, like, if you're setting forward one of this Skaven, are you like, hey, we're going to get you?
Skaven are known for a little catchphrase. It goes, yes. So yes, of course, yes. Yeah. They slay the manlings.
Good.
Yeah.
There's a little Gollum in there.
Oh yeah, perhaps, yeah.
Yeah.
And then anytime you're playing Space Marines, from the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me.
Cool.
You get into it. Like there's so many. Also, I gotta say the voice actors that they get for all the games, like the Total War franchise, have games set in the Warhammer universe, and I don't know where they find those voice actors. Like, unbelievable stuff.
But if you're looking for more, hello, you've got some here at this table.
Henry Cavill, cast me, bro.
Come on, man.
I'll fly out for free.
Yeah.
Bro. I'll fly myself out.
We know you listen to the podcast, Henry.
Henny, come on.
Henry.
My sweet Henny.
Hey, be careful with that series, bud. A lot of people count on you.
No pressure.
Okay, well, we're talking about celebrities now because we're talking about, our sweet friend Henry Cavill. Are there celebrities in the Warhammer world?
So apparently Robin Williams had
really?
an Eldar army.
That's sick.
R.I.P. to the goat.
I mean, a true nerd, that guy.
He was a nerd, absolutely.
Yeah.
His
daughter
kid's named
named
Zelda.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's Zelda Williams is his daughter and named very specifically after the game.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the big one that sticks out for me. I think there are celebrities within the hobby itself.
yeah.
Who's
Like,
the
hey.
most badass Warhammer warrior?
Oh my God, there goes
God.
Jake. that kind of energy.
Oh my God, guys, don't look. Don't make eye
Don't
contact.
look.
Jake,
Don't
it's
look.
Jake,
Look,
it's
he'll
Jake.
destroy my whole army by just blinking at me.
Fucking Jake.
He's a master.
There are people in the competitive scene who
Yep.
who really rise to the top, and everyone knows their name. I'm not as much a competitive player. I did a tournament once, and I was like, this isn't how I spark joy for
Friendly
myself.
game.
Yeah.
Get a beer.
Yeah. I call it friend hammer. Like if I'm trying to win the friend, not the battle.
Right. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
But then it's a nerdy hobby, right? So you meet some people who that's a little harder to do.
Yeah. Different people with different priorities.
Exactly. People get different stuff. They did have different priorities.
Oh, 100%. I used to go to a Magic draft with a friend who ran them, and like I would play with my friend, and it would be like fun and good, and then I would move over in the circle and play somebody else that was there, and just get destroyed.
Schwacked.
Like in 2 minutes, they
Yeah.
had me cornered, and it was like, okay, this is a different level.
Yeah.
Got it.
And it do be like that sometimes, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You're going in for different reasons why you're at that table. Sometimes you're like, I'm just looking for a specific chaotic card. And other people are like, I need to know everything and destroy you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I felt powerless in high school, so now it's my revenge. Like,
Yeah,
You know what? Get it. This is honestly an extremely healthy way.
Yeah,
to
this
get
is the
that
best way to channel that
Yeah.
energy.
success is the best revenge, whether
Yeah.
that success is in real life or on the tabletop.
back. Okay, I just have to know the measuring tape.
What you doing with the measuring tape?
The measuring tape. So what is it used for?
So the essential tools for the game are your models,
Yes.
dice,
Dice. Okay.
and the measuring tape.
Yeah.
These are imperfect sciences, obviously. It can create some controversy,
Yep.
but all your models have movement characteristics.
Okay.
So you are, you look in your book and you say, okay, my Skaven clan rat moves 6 inches. And you take out your measuring tape and you move. And then you have a warp lightning cannon maybe that shoots 24 inches. And so you're like,
Okay.
Am I there? Can I hit you?
Ah.
And they're like, no. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm coming around. It looks like I can, and it's all angles and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it ends up with some controversial moments where you're like, I don't think that was 6 inches.
Yeah.
Do you pull out your own? You're like, let's measure it.
Let's get granular here. I mean, at a tournament, yes.
Okay. I imagine at a tournament,
that,
they've got their own measuring tapes ready to
it's the Wild West, though. You can call for a judge or I see this is proof that I'm not in the competitive scene.
That's okay.
You can call for a TO, tournament organizer.
There you got it. You did it. You could have said
be like,
anything.
TO, can I get a ruling here? My opponent's saying this is a 9-inch charge, but I think it's 8. And then, you live and die by that.
Oh, damn.
So that's one of the most exciting aspects of the game, in my opinion. The games are both built on this. It's not the central mechanic, but you got the most exciting moment in the game is when you go, I gotta roll this. And most of the time that's in charges. So if you're a certain amount away from your enemy, you measure it out and you go, okay, this is a 9-inch charge. And I feel like if I get into this unit, I kind of win the game. And then it just comes down to that dice roll.
Oh,
and
that's exciting.
And like, you gotta make dramatic. I usually run from one side of the room to the other.
Like really wind up.
Yeah, throw the dice, they fly at the counter, you go, count it! And then...
You gotta make it a scene. You
gotta be dramatic.
It's the final charge.
What are we doing here?
You gotta. It's all about the drama.
That's how you know
so
we're all performers
fun.
too. You're like, I gotta make a scene out of it.
Yeah. I need everyone in this FLGS to look at me right now. And I'm secure in myself.
Sometimes you do need that though. Sometimes a person wants it.
It's a big moment and everybody's gotta see.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. This is another very silly question. Do they make branded tape measures, or are you all just using like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And this is what happens. So you get into the hobby and you're like, I gotta have all the Citadel. Citadel is Games Workshop's own brand. So you're like, I gotta do it by the book. And so you get the Citadel tape measure, the Citadel paints, paint brushes, what have you.
Yeah.
And then you do notice that as people, stick around, you tend to find the cheaper alternative.
Yeah, you start being like, I gotta make this sustainable.
I need the money to spend on the models.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Where it matters.
Yeah, correct.
Money on the table, baby.
And then the rules can be expensive, so you got to find cheap ways to do that as well. But yeah, once your Games Workshop tape measure breaks the first time, you tend
Like
to
nuts to that.
Yeah, correct.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
This is such a stupid question. Do you ever paint your tape measure to match your army, to match your dice?
See, you're an innovator now.
I just like things to match.
You're pushing things forward.
Okay, I'm trying. I'm just breaking the mold.
No, this is thought leadership.
Just Games Workshop. What's up?
I love that. I think that's awesome.
But no one does that.
No.
Okay, I feel like painting metal would be like so annoying.
I don't know.
But maybe not. Maybe
no.
Thought leader.
Thought leader.
Yeah.
Thought leader.
I'm just a plebe trying to follow.
You're just
your
a
lead.
Skaven.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Here's the thing is, and I knew this was going to come up at some point, but you're never really in short supply of things to paint.
Okay.
Right.
Let's talk about a big concept within the hobby.
Yeah, we got to do it.
Let's get into that.
We got questions.
Let's address it. The pile of shame is a thing.
What?
Oh
no!
I
think I know what this is.
The unpainted models,
or the ones that just didn't go well.
Maybe even the unbuilt.
Unbuilt, where you're like, I know it's like the pile of books next to your nightstand. You're like, I'll get to you. I promise.
Us intense readers call that a TBR, a to be read pile.
And this is a TBP.
Yeah,
right?
yep.
To or B as well, to be painted, built, whatever.
Yeah.
TBA, to be assembled.
To be addressed. So turns out it's much easier to buy things than it is to actually put them together and paint them. I will say that is the war that every Warhammer hobbyist wages on a daily is what's my pile of shame looking like?
How big's yours right now?
How big? You know what? I'm a new man.
Oh!
I've turned over a new leaf.
Whoa!
I have barely bought any models in the past year, and I'm pretty darn close.
Incredible.
I'm pretty darn close.
Spring has sprung. Life
It's
is opening
cynical.
up.
It's all just so that I can justify guilt-free purchases down the
more.
line.
Yeah.
As soon as you've done that last stroke, you're like, onto the computer. Here we go. I've ordered 60.
But it's tough. It's tough. Like one model, depending on how much you want to put into it. Again,
At least 3 colors if you want the
Yeah,
points.
you could do the bare minimum, or especially I find European people they go ham. Like
Okay.
Really?
it's like a mode of artistic expression. You know, it's not only painting the model; it's the scenic base. Some people will, you know, have a whole thing for it. It's I played against someone once, great ogre army, and it was all in the swamp. So it was like it looked like it was water on the
What?
bases. Like
Cool.
it was unbelievable.
That's so cool.
Yeah, people just go in. Like you feel good about your army sometimes. You roll up and you're like, oh, okay, well, you're on another level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, can you tell a player when you look at their army and how it's painted, and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna get destroyed, or are you like,
Maybe,
Okay.
like, because some people go harder on the hobby. It's called the hobby aspect
Okay.
than the gaming aspect.
Yeah.
And I actually find that it's usually one or the other. In
Okay.
my experience, just because if you are more into the sweat, we call it sweaty, the sweaty, gaming optimization. That tends to be where your priorities are, and
Right.
you're too busy updating your list with the new hotness. And you don't
Okay.
really have time
Yeah.
to paint it all up.
Like
so if
this-
someone comes kitted out, you're like, I'm gonna kick your ass
Yeah,
because I
maybe.
know you spend too much energy on this part.
I see where you're putting the hours.
It's like when a restaurant has a name that's too clever, like a seafood place called Off the Hook.
Yeah,
You're like, the
yeah.
food's got to suck.
Uh-oh.
You know,
Yeah.
all your priorities are in the brand.
Yeah, I'll put it
Yeah,
up on
yeah,
that sign there.
But people get really intense with. Are there like techniques to painting? And is it hard to paint something
so
that
small.
It
Yes.
seems like it would be genuinely very difficult.
There's a learning curve for sure. Yeah, and some people are better at it than others.
Yeah.
I think I am fine.
Do you have like the
passable.
the like guys?
The guy from Toy Story.
Yeah, with the little like monocle that comes over your
Yeah.
eye when you're like doing work on clocks.
Yeah, and it's like there's a billion little
Yeah.
microscopes. I have a what do you call it? A ring light.
Okay.
Oh, helpful.
And then you end up it's actually a really relaxing thing to do because you end up having to like do breath work by accident.
So
Like,
your hand doesn't shake.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like you're painting someone's eyeball and you're like, I'm doing Wim Hof by accident. Like, just holding my breath.
Yeah, I when we were researching this, I went on the Reddit, and there are some incredible models out there.
It's
Go on our
unbelievable.
own Discord.
Yeah.
One of the people on our Discord paints a bunch of models.
Oh man, some
like a
beautiful work, like
Beautiful.
feathering on like wings, like
That's
Crazy stuff.
Feathering, like that's a
That's
a
deep.
horse of a different color.
absolutely. I'm like, wait, somebody put this in a museum.
And then some people use a technique called slap chop, and it's basically the quickest way to get your models painted up.
Oh, okay.
You know? You can spend all day on a model, but the Games Workshop wants you to buy a lot of models.
Yeah, right.
So
What's slap chop mean?
slap chop is
Like I know the slap chop, the commercial with the you gotta see my nuts.
Like that, but with
you're
paint.
gonna love my nuts.
Yeah.
You're gonna love my Skaven. I don't really I don't do it myself, the slap chop method. I think you spray paint, you prime it black, you dry brush it white so that it has like
depth.
yeah, an
texture.
artifice of shadow.
Yeah.
And then there's contrast paints that are basically 2 layers in one. And I think
Okay.
you just layer everything on as fast as possible.
Oh damn, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I knew there would be specific techniques before.
It's tough though, and like sometimes I question if I actually like painting.
Yeah.
Like, am I just trying to avoid the shame of rolling up with a gray army?
a naked
could I-
army?
Could I free myself from
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
But then every once in a while you finish a model and you're like, okay, that's sick.
I'm sure when you show up
Gotta
and someone's
nail it.
like, I love your paint job, you're like, oh, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. I worked so hard on this.
Oh yeah, no, it's nothing.
Oh my God. They
Cries,
noticed.
cries paint.
Cries Null and Oil. Yeah, there's a great little product. Shout out Null and Oil. It's this shade that goes on at the end that basically
Ooh.
adds, it fills in the crevices and creases, and it's like cheating, it's
love that.
it's fantastic.
Oh man, the detail.
There's always like pre Null and Oil, post Null and Oil.
Oh, those are the before and afters you see on
Yeah,
these.
yeah, it's a glow up in a bottle.
I need some. Where can I buy it for myself?
just fucking get it on there.
just
Yeah,
get
it's a
little-
form of retinoid.
Yeah, I love it. Speaking of painting, Kevin from our Patreon wants to know which model and or army is the biggest pain to assemble and paint.
Whoa.
Good
Good
question.
question.
We got folks who know some shit.
This is tough because you only get to experience your own army.
Yeah.
There are certain armies that have reputations as being very finicky and spindly.
Okay.
Ooh.
Um,
Yeah.
It tends to be like a lot of models used to be metal. like back in the day. So and metal was the hardest thing to keep together. I think these days the armies that have the reputation for being hardest to assemble, I think for fantasy, any elf army tends to be really finicky and spindly.
Okay.
And then there's also a ghost army that has a lot of flowing cloaks and capes.
Tricky.
And yeah, you can accidentally cut yourself like on some of these like edges and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an edgy hobby. And then in 40K, I think it's probably Drukari. They are like the dark elf army.
Those elves.
Yeah,
Those
I think
it's the pointy
it's hard to
ears.
think on the spot.
It's okay.
There's
You
a
can
lot of
also
them, it
get back
seems.
to us afterwards because we have a nerds letter that comes out
Oh,
that we can put all the deets in.
The newsletter.
The
yeah.
nerds letter.
Yeah, I will disseminate the.
Oh yes.
But it's also everyone's gonna have a different experience.
Yeah.
Like for me, the worst unit I ever had was
Sean has brought some
I
here.
brought some visual aids. This Skaven storm vermin here.
He's got a
What?
big like
His hands did
halberd.
not. Yeah, his
There's little grass on it.
his hands didn't come like you have to align both arms.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no.
you have to line it up and then glue it, which is
Oh my God.
extremely annoying.
That is very.
Did
very
you add the little
particular.
grass on it?
You best believe I did.
That's so
It's
fun.
so cool. It's
Oh,
This-
that's very cool.
My Tyranids have flowers. And,
Those little teeth are so hard to paint. Oh my
But that's the
God.
null oil. You hit them with the white, and then it's the recesses
incredible.
that the shade that
That's
makes.
so cool.
This is
Impressive.
very well painted. We
It's
will
so
be putting
cool.
a picture on
Pictures,
our
pictures,
Instagram
pictures.
when we post it, so you can see what this
That's
little
badass.
little guy looks like. That's awesome. I
Thank
love
you.
that.
That's very sweet.
Very, very cool. Okay, so let's just to step back a little bit.
yeah.
The lore of the thing obviously falls into the sci-fi and the fantasy. The
Yeah.
games though, is that mostly in the sci-fi realm? Or sorry, the video games.
The video games. It's funny because I would say some of the bigger ones up until recently were the fantasy games. I
Really?
would say Total War, Warhammer,
Yeah.
and Vermintide. I think those were arguably some of the bigger games
Yeah.
within the IP. But Space Marine 2 just dropped. And
Just dropped. Like,
Well-
how recently?
I shouldn't say just. I mean,
You can lie to me. I don't know.
I'm not a gamer. Like I don't play the games. I don't play the games like I play like the tabletop. So
Yeah.
I'm maybe speaking out of turn here. I think Space Marine 2 came out in October, November.
Okay, that's recent. That's
time.
recent.
One of our former guests worked on it, Ashley Cooper.
Oh,
No way.
sick.
Yeah.
Are you? What did they do on it?
Wrote on it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my lord! I'm
Look at
gonna
this,
have
we're
to,
tying things
I'm gonna have to work the Fandom Pod alum network.
We should start a group for it. A sub Discord that's just people who've been on the show.
There's a lot of them.
The only viral thing that I've ever made is a Space Marine 2 meme, actually.
Oh,
Just
okay.
Really?
a voiceover. It's
That's
the only
impressive.
thing that's ever popped off. It's
In the height
hilarious.
of fame.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, more views on that than Star Trek. That's for sure.
Oh, the life of an artist.
Oh,
Yeah, no
boy.
kidding. Okay,
Thing
so
that-
wait, you wanted to address the memes as well, right?
Yeah.
That there's a blank hammer meme that goes
Oh yeah,
around.
yeah. Well, I think memes, are a social lubricant, and
Definitely.
and yeah, I think like there's so many great Warhammer memes. My favorite one of which is like the blank hammer. Yeah, beer hammer on the weekends, or hey, we're playing friendly hammer. Like, don't worry about it. Like, 9, 10-inch charge. Who cares? Call it a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like friendly hammer. It's a very fun one. It's adaptable.
Yeah, I feel like you can really put hammer on the end of anything.
So would this be like a pod hammer? Like,
We're pod hammering
We're pod hammering
right
right
now.
now?
hammering right now.
okay, sick. I just want to make sure I get it right so I don't make a fool of walk into a games workshop. Hey, everyone, we're shop hammering. They're going to be like, what the fuck
No,
is
I
this
think you
woman?
should try it anyway.
I can't wait.
If any, I mean, you've established yourself as a thought leader. So if they don't get it, then they need to catch up.
Like, you're all squares.
Yeah.
I'm going to the top.
Run with it or run from it.
I'm climb hammering tonight.
And listen, I don't know if anyone else really uses
I
this
love
stuff,
it.
but it's like, yeah, it's very good.
So you talked a bit about the lore of it and like obviously imbuing it into your own army. When you're playing the game, how much of the lore like factors into gameplay versus just coloring your own entrance into the story?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked. That's such an intelligent question.
This Kaya wrote it.
I don't need credit.
These are because like I literally wanted to talk about this. I think that the ultimate moment of appreciation that you can have within the hobby is when your knowledge of the lore meets an experience on the tabletop.
Ooh.
They do a really, really, really good job of making a pretty like what's the word I want? Like modular rule set.
Yeah.
They match it to the lore. So the way that you come to understand your armies when you're reading about them in the novels or playing the video games, it actually equates sometimes like 1-to-1 to what they do on the tabletop, and you're like, this is like. That's when everything flows as one, and it's an ecosystem, and the hobby enriches itself.
That's cool.
And
Sick.
Skaven are like, with them thinking that they're the chosen one, they're cowards. So when bravery was a thing in the game, they would run away. And while that wasn't necessarily a satisfying gameplay moment, we call it fluffy. That's very fluffy.
Okay.
There's a great. This is probably a good example of it. One of the Space Marine chapters is called Blood. The Blood Angels, and they have this curse, this genetic curse, that they will hallucinate that they are their. It's called your gene father. Basically, it's like their half king, half father, and basically they become so full of battle lust that they can't control themselves. And sometimes on the battlefield, they'll make a charge even if you don't want them to charge.
Oh,
and
fun.
so, again, Blood Angels players, I'm probably getting something wrong, but it's just a beautiful moment of like, this is not necessarily what I want to be happening in the game, but it's not just a game. It's a universe.
Yeah, it's the story. The character does that because this character has to, because that's the rules of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is satisfying too, because it's like it makes it feel more real and more authentic. If you really want to play out a battle, not everything that you want to go right goes right.
Exactly.
I remember learning that lesson very specifically playing D&D, where I watched someone lie badly because their character would, not because we needed it. Like, it totally fucked us all, which was so funny and great, but their character genuinely would have done that.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, wow, that was way better than if he had just done the thing that he knew was good for the game.
Yeah.
That's next level.
It's just
lying badly.
Yeah, because
on
the
purpose.
character would. And I've integrated stuff like that into all of my characters since, of just what's my one flaw that if I am faced with this, I will absolutely, I am in trouble. I can't do it. Because it makes it more fun.
It makes
Yeah.
it brings
that's
depth
interesting.
to it. It
Yeah.
brings some extra stakes. Has anything ever happened in a game that has made it back into the lore?
Whoa.
Like the lore influences the game, but maybe like in competition where it's like, oh, this character did this and now that's.
Maybe.
Fed.
I think that is something for the Games Workshop rules writers
Games Workshop,
to know.
come at me.
Yeah.
I have ideas for you.
Because I know that there's a reputation that all the rules writers, when they're not working, they do get games in at lunch and stuff.
Oh, damn cool.
And they they live it.
Yeah.
Right? And I would imagine. I mean, though, dice tell stories.
Yeah.
I know that's a thing in D&D.
Oh my God,
And
totally.
it's really, really true in Warhammer as well. The most memorable moments are when things do not work out. I've got a 3-inch charge here, so you're done, and then you roll snake eyes. And you're like, oh, don't worry, I've got the reroll. I'm gonna spend a command point, reroll, snake eyes again.
Oh my
and
God.
you're just like, that's a memorable moment.
It was meant to happen.
You're eating shit,
Yeah.
but it's the best.
Yeah, I know in D&D they say the 20 is the best, 1 is the second best.
Oh, really?
For story purposes? Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool.
That
Yeah.
rolling a 1 is way more fun than rolling a 10.
I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's so cool.
Is there okay? I don't know how to ask this question. Is there if a character dies? Sorry, I have 3 questions in my head right now, and I have to parse them. If a character dies on the battlefield, does that can you bring it back another time,
Oh,
or is it dead? Like in D&D, your character dies, your character dead.
So I should have said this earlier. There's 2 different game modes. There's matched play, where that would not happen. You're just playing the game. But then some people do play campaigns in narrative or crusade.
Cool.
So, Usually what will happen is if your character dies in game, you tend to roll for them afterwards, and then
Like saving throws type of thing?
almost.
Okay.
I've never played D&D, which is so,
Okay.
it's so funny. Games Workshop started as a D&D manufacturer, like as a third party, and then people had like regiments of people, and they were like, "What do we do with this? Can you write it?" And that's how it all started.
I love that.
This would be fun, but I'd prefer to measure more stuff.
But I'm really type A.
Characters dying.
Oh yeah, so like let's say like most things tend to die. Like there's
That makes
very
sense.
little left on the battlefield.
It's war after
It's
all.
Warhammer. And
I just got the hammer meme.
there, yeah.
Warhammer. Okay, I'm good. Good night. Honk shoe, honk shoe.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna
for your
sleep
time.
hammer now.
I'm sleep hammering myself.
A thought leader.
Thought leader. I'm so far ahead. I'm behind.
It's a circle. It's all the way back around.
Absolutely.
An Ouroboros of nerd.
Yeah,
I'm so
exactly.
far in first. I'm in last.
Okay, where were we?
You'll roll for your character because everyone will die, and then like let's say you roll a 1, maybe your character's dead as a doornail and does not get to come back in the campaign and has to be replaced. And you know, I've dabbled in narrative. It just tends to be a little bit more high maintenance.
Yeah.
I'm a beer hammer aficionado.
Yeah, love
I'm trying
that.
to show up. And the hang is the priority,
Yeah.
and the game is I
Game's
won't
just-
say an afterthought, but it's you know
It's
the
the thing you're
lubricant.
doing.
it's
Yeah.
secondary.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's the
let's
context.
before we run out of time, making this sustainable, getting
Yes.
cheap models,
Yeah,
making
yeah,
this
yeah.
like something that how do you manage to, I don't want to say afford it, but like how do people keep this up?
How do you cheap hammer yourself?
Yeah, how do you cheap hammer?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm the king of it, so you come to me. Yeah, I think so. Games Workshop wants you as like a consumer to
Yeah.
be buying all your models brand new, all of their products and
Terrain, paints.
terrain, paint, and all that kind of stuff. And it's in my opinion, it's just not feasible. Like even the rules are expensive.
Yeah.
If you want to get into this hobby cheap, there is a used market to hit up. There's a website called Troll Trader. Hit up Troll Trader. And then there's a lot of discounts. In the pandemic, it was like a used buyer's dream because everyone was offloading their armies and there was a lot of action happening.
Yeah.
There is a website that Games Workshop can't get pulled down because it's in Russia. It's called Wahapedia. And all the rules get uploaded there for free.
Oh, damn.
And I think that's something that Games Workshop does have to address is like, it's the digital age, baby. We got to move on. You know,
Yeah.
these they want like $70 a pop for these hardcover books.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
And
yeah.
it's not cute anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we got to update. And so Wahapedia is a great resource. There's usually ways to get around it, these costs. Also, if you buy from Games Workshop directly, it's one price, but in order to incentivize people to, circulate the market, a lot of friendly local game stores offer a 15% discount.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
like I go to like the Guild House here in Toronto that offers 15% off that MSRP, and it's just makes things more feasible.
Yeah, that's great.
You want, it's one thing to get someone's upfront cash, but you want people to be able to be part of this world for a long time. Make it sustainable for your players to keep engaging with your thing.
They do try. They try to make the first hit free. They have a lot of. They have a lot of discount boxes.
Wonder where they got that strategy.
Yeah, I know. People do call it plastic crack. I know that MTG is cardboard crack or
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's
But
so
people do
funny.
call this plastic crack.
Yep.
Again, those piles of shame. You will see some posts online where people have. It looks like they could open their own FLGS
Oh
themselves.
my god.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because when you go into a store, you can get a free model, right?
Yeah. If you go into a Games Workshop, the first hit is literally free.
Oh no. Do you get to pick the free one? Do
You
they just
want
give-
one, don't you?
Shit.
But they and they have these starter boxes that usually will bundle models together, and they come at a discount. They're called Combat Patrol for 40K and Spearhead for Age of Sigmar, and then there's game systems attached that are basically like ramps into the big games.
Damn.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
If there's any lore that you came up with that you could put into the overall game, what would it be? I'm stuck on this lore. I can't
Oh
stop.
my lord! Like lore that I want implemented.
Yeah, or that you've created for one of your characters. You're like, this should be part of the world.
This feels heretical. I can't push back this hard.
I'm a thought hammer here.
Thought
leader hammer.
hammer.
I'm trying so hard.
We'll get there.
I've lost it.
I love that this is the prevailing bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, Pastor Bogstock should be made canon.
Yeah,
and,
obviously. Yeah. I think
yeah.
that's a good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What lore would I honestly think? And this is like, I know that we're gonna get into a hot take at one point, but like, I just think that there needs to be a bit more inclusivity in the. We got to beat the straight white dude allegations for this hobby. It can feel like a boys club, and I think Games Workshop does do a lot to try to address it.
Yeah.
I think they gotta keep pushing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I think they tried at one point. There's one like sect of warriors in 40K that like everyone thought of as like very masculine, and then at one point Games Workshop was like, by the way, like gals are a part of this too, and like the incel part of the fandom.
Oh no.
And it's like such a contentious issue online, and it's like, I know you just had
There's lady fighters. That's why they're mad.
it's maidenless behavior. I know you had your Elden Ring. I listened to it on the way.
I love that.
It's maidenless behavior, and I think that the whole lore and hobby both. I just think the hobby has to become more inclusive.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a mini game for you.
We have a mini game. Okay.
Yay!
Warhammer, so broad, so many different aspects to it that can be hard to navigate for a newbie.
Sure.
So I went on to Warhammer's website, and there's a long list of different types of the game. So I'm going to ask you to give me a 2 to 3 word sales pitch, 2 to 3 word sales pitch for each type of Warhammer.
2 to 3 words. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We're starting straight up. Warhammer 40K.
Paradise Lost Dune.
Great. Underworlds.
I don't know.
Great. Beautiful. I think these are
role-playing game.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
That Underworlds is the role-playing one.
Okay.
that.
Perfect. Cursed City.
Sold out forever.
Okay. Yes. This is what we
So
want.
don't even worry about it.
Don't even try.
Okay.
New line launched. 'Cause
Beautiful.
they sold out really fast, and then they launched more.
I love
Amazing.
it.
They made more.
Okay, Warcry.
Little sibling game.
Oh, okay.
That's adorable.
Age of Sigmar.
Best game ever.
Yeah. Adeptus Titanicus.
No one plays.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I apologize to the Titanicus players out there.
I love it.
I've never actually seen any of those models in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
So
niche. It's
you might
niche.
be right.
It's niche.
Aeronautica Imperialist. Or Imperialist. Sorry, no T.
X squeeze me. What is that?
Aeronautica Imperialis.
I actually think I've been out nerded. I don't know
No, you've
what
been
that
out
is.
Googled.
I'm assuming it's airships.
Googled.
It's like sounds from the name that it's airships, like Imperial airships.
Sounds like it.
Oh, I think I might know what that is. Okay, yeah. It's like Star Wars TIE Fighter, if you've heard of that game.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
think
yeah.
it's like that.
That makes sense.
I've never seen anyone play it.
So we're getting into the deep cut stuff.
This is
man.
niche. This is niche within niche.
Legions Imperialis.
Same thing.
Same thing.
I think so. Yeah, I think those are like they are a smaller scale.
Okay.
Smaller scale models.
Warhammer: The Horus Heresy.
Fun but pass.
Okay.
It's
love it.
Warhammer 40K, but it's 30K. It's 10,000 years before, and
I
it's
love
just
that.
it's niche within niche.
Okay.
It's
Yep.
like we're trying to play with people here.
Yeah, we're trying to bring people up to speed, not backwards.
We're trying to play friend hammer.
Getting in the way of the beer. Okay,
Correct.
how about the old world? Warhammer old world.
Is that 20K?
Yeah, please like me again. So Warhammer Old World, it was the fantasy game.
Oh, okay.
And then they squashed it because the least profitable Warhammer 40K army was more profitable than the entirety of Warhammer Fantasy.
Okay.
So being a business, they blew it up and turned it into Age of Sigmar, which
Yeah.
was a success. But there were so many sweaty nerds online that were, and not the fun kind of nerds.
Right.
Bitter people.
They're like, I need this. How dare you take it?
We come in different categories.
Yeah,
nerds.
correct. And so those people were so angry.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like you pour blood, sweat, and tears, money
Yeah,
into this
money
hobby,
for
Paint.
sure.
and pain and time and love, and then they blow up your game. And so people were not cool with that for a long time. And then recently Games Workshop relaunched
Okay.
the old world.
Right. So it's like a World of Warcraft classic type thing where they like bring it back and they're like, you can play the old one that we broke because we wanted to.
The main difference is the bases, like the circular base. So if you change from Fantasy to Sigmar, you put you chopped everyone off their square bases and put them on round bases.
Really?
But if you want to get back into the old world,
no.
you're going back. And it's funny because one army from Age of Sigmar got, we call it squatted, and put into the old world. So there are Beast of Chaos players out there who rebased from square bases to circular and now are going back.
Oh.
At a certain point, do you just stack them?
Some people do. Yeah, some people will just glue the old base on top
I'm
of the
not
new one.
fucking with this. Mine has grass on it.
Height doesn't matter.
I've got a job. I got kids. So
The Games Workshop,
Places
I
to be,
need
man.
things.
Yeah.
Some of us have work in the morning.
For most of us.
All right, Necromunda.
Yeah, role-playing game.
Okay.
It's that's probably the closest you can get to D&D, I think. I've heard it's amazing. Some people say it's the best game system.
Damn. Blood Bowl.
Very, very fun.
Yeah.
I actually haven't played it, but it's the most tongue-in-cheek, silly game. It's basically Warhammer universe characters, but playing football.
Oh my God.
But,
that sounds so
them
fun.
being a UK property, it's all like, like
Footy.
it's footy.
Yeah.
And it's
not arm football.
I guess
it's foot football.
Is it rugby that they actually play? I don't actually know, but it's like geezer type gameplay.
Love
for,
it.
for
All
sure.
right, Blitz
it.
Bowl. There's Blood Bowl and Blitz Bowl. There's two different bowls.
Out nerded again.
Shit. Okay, and the last one from that main page, Middle Earth strategy battle game.
So much fun.
Yeah.
That's the Lord of the Rings one, and I think it's such a fun, refreshing game to play. If you're playing Warhammer, the Lord of the Rings one is a pretty different game system. You're always, if my person was fighting your person, we would both roll a single dice, and that's the duel.
Fun.
And whoever wins the duel wins the combat, and that's unique to that game system. Nothing else has it, and it makes for a lot of memorable moments.
That's neat.
It's fun.
That's very cool.
It's very fun.
Did the bad guys win in that one?
They do when I play.
Oh no!
Eyes in guard. Eyes in guard. Yeah.
Steph, you got to go get yourself a Hobbit army, which I assume exists.
Fuck, they'd be so bad at battle.
Yeah, they'd be
They
great
just
at
lie
snacks,
down.
though.
They just fall down. Someone looked at them. They're like, no.
A new power is rising.
And it's not this one.
It's not this one.
All right, before we wrap up.
We're wrapping.
I know,
don't
it
say
goes
that
so
to me.
fast.
It goes so fast.
This is so fun.
What's your hot take you got to get out in the world? You mentioned that you need to be more inclusive of a place.
Yeah, I think, I kind of popped my...
That's okay.
No, it's great,
Yeah,
though.
I do think that's the big one. That's the hot take. I'm a pretty neutral fan overall. I really appreciate the product. I like Games Workshop a lot.
Yeah.
I think it should be cheaper. And then, the rules should be free at this point. We're in the age of PDFs. They gotta bite the bullet.
Yeah.
Listen, when we all have free rules, we're all looking at each other's rules, and we're being, you're gonna increase sales by doing that. Like, if I can read about your army, I'm gonna be like, what? That kind of sounds sick.
No, I gotta test that. I gotta buy me that
I
army.
also want to start orcs or
right.
or whatever it is. I think they would set if you can put a book in front of me for free that says you're gonna have X amount more fun if you start playing with this model, I'm gonna spend the money on the model.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I know that Wizards of the Coast makes some D&D available for free on
Really?
on D&D Beyond.
Cool.
Like a lot of the core rules and stuff you can just play with for free. But then if you want any of the extended stuff, other monsters, other
they give
classes,
you the first hit
or,
for free.
Exactly.
I've heard Wizards of the Coast are like uber capitalists.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Like I've heard they put Games Workshop to shame.
Yeah.
That's just
I'm not going to argue with that, but they're really good at the first hit free part.
Yeah. The core rule, I will say, the core rules for both games they do come free. And
Yeah,
then,
okay, good,
but
good.
then if you want any of the army books or the models or anything,
Yeah.
yeah. But again, the used market is strong.
Yeah. We can do it. We can do it as a community. Keep ourselves in armies.
That's honestly one thing that I will highlight is it's such a fun community for the most part.
That's every community.
Of course, yeah. There's one or two bad apples, but for the most part, especially in Age of Sigmar, it is seen at Warhammer can get a little sweaty. It's more leaning towards the competitive side of things.
Yeah.
But people in Age of Sigmar are just down for a good time.
I love
They
it.
just want to take their elves out.
Fun hammer.
They want to have fun hammer. All right. At the end of every episode, we like to share our micro fandoms of the week, which we're going to do in just a moment. But before we do, reach out to us. Here are some ways you can do that. You can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/The Fandom Show, where you can get episodes early. You can submit questions. You can enjoy our Nerds letter. You can listen to our Patreon podcast. There's so much shit on the Patreon for you. It's all for you. So come on over there, drop a few bucks, and come share in the fun with us. You can also find us on social media at Fandom Show Pod. That's on Instagram. That's on YouTube. That's on TikTok. That's on Facebook. Sort of, and that's it. So if you want us on other platforms, let us know. But otherwise, come find us over there or head to our website at patreon.com at www.thefandomshow.com.
Nailed it.
Thank you. My brain just lost it.
If you want to be a true friend hammer to the podcast, please tell all of your friends about us. Word of mouth goes a really, really long way. It helps people find the podcast. And because we cover so many things, sometimes it's hard for people to find us.
Truly.
But they might find their next new fandom. So if you love this podcast, tell everyone you know. We would really, really appreciate that. Also, if you have a little time, you're bored at work, I know you are, go online.
You need to take a break from that spreadsheet.
You deserve it.
You know what? Just go on over to Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, get on over to Spotify, if you will.
Get on Spotify.
Yeah.
Get on Good Pods if you like it.
Yeah.
Whatever your flavor.
Just get in there and then do a little rate, review, subscribe.
Your boss won't know. They're not even looking.
Should we be doing more of an ASMR thing?
They're probably over there rating their favorite podcast. Don't you want to look cool like your boss?
I love that you're role playing this.
I can't stop.
Truly, even a one-sentence review makes a huge difference for us. It really helps people find us. So please feel free to do that. It would be a great gift. And we read every single one of them because we're just so touched that you're listening. So that's amazing. You really are doing the biggest thing, which is giving us your ears. You can also find us on the From Superheroes Discord, where you can meet other fans, or you can hit us up directly.
And our theme song is by Yusu Kim. Now our micro fandoms for the week. Kaya, what you loving?
What am I loving? I said in our last episode that I recently finished Mass Effect, finally. It took forever. It was great.
Space Marines.
Space Marines in a way. But yeah, so I finished that, and I am now on to finally doing my pile of shame of indie games that I purchased in the meantime, intending to play them when I finish Mass Effect, which took me too long.
Steam is a really apt comparison for the pile of shame, actually.
100%. That's digital crack for sure. It's just $5 for this puzzle game? Gimme. So I just finished a game called Inside by Playdead Studios. Very good. You've played it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's super fun. It's like a platform puzzler, just a 2D platform puzzler, but the art in it is incredible. It's very simple but very haunting. It's got a real fascist chic, which might not be everybody's
mixed
flavor
with
right
Ringu.
now. Yeah, mixed with a little bit of Ringu. You're absolutely right. But the puzzles are really fun and not too punishingly difficult. So if you can get past the general horror of the energy, which you should, it's a great game.
Same studio as Limbo, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Limbo is one of my favorite games ever.
Also so good.
Incredible.
I love puzzle games like that so much, and those two in particular are so elegantly
The art
done.
direction is just...
Oh, yeah, 100%. I will probably go back and play them again in a year or two, even though I'll know all the puzzles. I'll feel very smart. Anyway, not the point. Steph, what are you fanning out about?
I don't get into all this nerd shit. I'm a jock, and my fandom is pickleball, because I'm not a jock. I'm an old lady. I started in a pickleball league. A friend asked me to sub once because I do some athletics. And I played one game and was like, I have to join a pickleball league. I'm obsessed with this game. And then a friend of the podcast, Michelle Ferrari, I convinced her to join with me because we wanted to play volleyball, but you need a lot of people, kind of like a D&D game. You can't just do two people. So we started playing pickleball. We're shit at it. We're not good, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. It's just fun. And we're both extremely competitive people, but the thing that we're trying really hard to do at pickleball is just constantly laugh at ourselves to make it not feel so bad, because learning something new is hard.
Yeah.
And you feel vulnerable, but we're trying to, I try every time to make the other team laugh, so that even if they're annoyed at how bad I am at pickleball, they're still like, this lady, what is her deal?
Bit kooky over
Bit
here.
kooky. She just won't stop singing Simple Plan. I don't know why. Anyway, loving pickleball. It's very fun. It's a very low barrier to entry, and it's a good time.
Can I share a really quick? And I relate to both of your things. So I was in a McDonald's commercial last year where I had to play pickleball, and it was so funny because I went into the audition and they were like, "Do you have pickleball experience?" I don't, but I was like, yes, of course,
obviously.
And I did not expect to book it. And
And then they're like, okay, so you know everything about the kitchen, and you're like,
Yeah,
I cook. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I'm cooking right now. Oh my God, it's a very easy. You can watch one YouTube video.
It's
and
such
learn
a fun game.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah, Sean, what are you nerding out about right now?
I'm nerding out about found footage films.
Yeah.
Because I'm making one later this year.
Cool.
And it's not a genre that I'm making it a found footage film out of budgetary necessity.
Yep,
We love it.
But then I was like, okay, I'm gonna like really immerse myself into this genre, and turns out I freaking love it. Like
Yeah.
it's awesome, and I've been hitting all the classics. And
Your Blair Witches, your Cloverfields.
Blair Witches. My favorite one is Lake Mungo.
Are they all usually horror based?
That's been my.
Okay.
I'm making a found footage horror film,
Okay.
and so that's the journey that I've been going down. But like mockumentaries, like Spinal Tap as well, I think count.
Also great.
But yeah, gotta shout out the film Lake Mungo. I think it's honestly one of the more terrifying. It's like one of the few horror movies that like it leaks out of the screen and it follows you.
It sits with you.
It's one of those movies where it's like the first time I saw Donnie Darko as a kid, I remember falling asleep being like, I'm gonna wake up in the bunny and he's gonna be standing up. What's his name? Not Fred.
Donnie.
The bunny. The bunny's gonna be standing over my bed, and then I was like, and not since Donnie Darko until Lake Mungo. It's like,
Oh no.
I was like this.
I love it.
Highly recommended.
Okay, great.
Oh, Sean, thank you so much for coming. Where can people find you? What do you want to plug?
I just had an episode of a TV show called Mayday come out if you want to check that out.
Yeah.
Check out Mayday. Check me out on Instagram at Sean Meldrum, SeanMeldrum. And you can go watch my Warhammer meme on YouTube if you want. I need to upload more though.
Head to your friendly local game store. Sean might be there.
Yeah.
don't know.
Let's catch these miniature hands if you want. I ain't feared. And keep an eye out for the project. That's the movie that I'm going to make, and it'll probably be out 2026.
Oh yeah,
hopefully.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much. Until next time, love the things you love and tell everyone about them.
Bye. Yay, we did
Bye,
it.
Hammer.
The Phantom Show.